Hello, welcome to Mr. Johnson Math and Science class. In this math class, we'll be doing circle equation. This is my digits. Can WhatsApp or call me via these digits. This is my email address. In this class, our mission is to rejuvenate the passion for academic excellence. Okay, so we're gonna be doing circle equation. Before that, let me just talk about some basic things about circle. Okay, so let's just have a diagram of a circle right here. Okay, so this is a circle. In a circle, we have some basic things I want us to take note of. In a circle, any line that runs from one point of the circle to another crossing the center is known as the diameter of the circle. The diameter. Okay, why? Any line that runs from the center to another point without crossing the other point, okay, is known as the radius. Okay, let me just label them. So this line is a diameter. So diameter is a kind of chord that runs from the one point of the circle, one point of the circumference to another point of the circumference. Okay, let me label that so that I can see it. So let me highlight that. So from this point to this point, the diameter runs from this point, while the radius, this radius is running from this point. You can observe it is running, but now it gets to this point, the center, and couldn't extend. So a radius just starts from one point and cannot extend to that point. Okay, and then another thing to take note of is the distance around the circle. So this point is known as the circumference of the circle, this distance around the circle. Okay, and then another word we can use for this distance around the circle is the perimeter. That's it. Okay, so we've been able to identify the diameter, the radius, and then the circumference. Okay, another thing you can take note of is the chord and all that. So chord is just a distance from one point of the circle to another, but one thing about chord is that chord does not cross to the center. So chords does not cross through the center. So the distance from here to here is a chord, but it doesn't cross through the center. Okay, so um the relationship between the radius the radius and the diameter is that a single radius will give us two diameter. So we say by the formula that um, 2 r equal to d, or diameter is 2r. So that's 2 of the radius give us 1 of the diameter. If you watch that, that makes sense, because from this point to this point is a radius, so 2 of it will give us, like, this is 1 radius, and from here to here is another radius, so 2 radius. So it simply implies that the radius from this point to this point 1, and from this point 1 to this point 2 will give us just one single diameter. Okay, and that thing to take note of is the circumference or perimeter of a circle. Circumference of circle is 2 pi r. So that is the formula we use to calculate the circumference of a circle. So these are just some basic things you need to know about a circle, and then let's go ahead and talk about the equation of a circle. In this class, we'll not be focusing on the let me say basic things you know about circle or you have learned in your classes. We're going to be focusing on the equation of a circle, how to graph a circle on the xy plane. Okay, the equation of a circle in the coordinate plane follows the form. Okay, so this is the form it follows. Okay, it goes with the formula that says x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equals to r squared. So we're going to be working with this formula. Please try to memorize this formula. I'll be working with it. So the equation is in the standard form. So whenever you see the equation of a circle in this form, we say is actually in the standard form. So this is the standard form for the equation of a circle. Now an equation of a circle can also be in the general form, and I'm going to talk about that just in a moment. So always know always look out for when the equation is either in the standard form or in the general form. Okay, so this is the standard form. where r is the radius of the circle and h and k are the x and y coordinates of the circle's center. Okay, so if this diagram I have here, the center, which is here, becomes h comma k, and that is the center of the circle. Okay, so we've defined h and k as the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle. Okay, now I talked about general formula, right? So they said you might also see the equation of a circle in general form. So this is general form. So always know how to detect when it is in the general form and then when it is in the standard form. So when it is in general form, it is ideal to convert it to the when it is in the general form, convert it to the standard form. And how to do that is by completing the square. Okay, you should know about completing the square. We did that in our last in our quadratic class, so you can just check out your quadratic notes to review that, or check out my video on quadratic equation, completing the square method. That would help you. Then you can just come back to this. Okay, let's continue. So let's go ahead and solve some question. Okay, so we have a question that says, okay, this question says, what is the equation of the circle on the xy plane? So let's take note of this. This will be 1, and here will be 2, right? So this is also -1, and this is right here is -2, and then -3. Hope it's making sense to you. This is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So here is going to be -1, -1, -2. Okay, we said in the standard form the equation of a circle gives us x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. Okay, so we said that the distance from the center of the circle to another point is known as the radius. Okay, so let's identify some of the major things we know. Okay, so right here, this is the center of this circle, because from this point, watch, this is 1 2 3 cm from here, and this is also, okay, not really 3 cm but 3 units. This is another 1 2 and 3. So let's still go this way. This becomes 1 2 and another 3. Let's go this way, 1 2 and 3. So this is actually the center of the circle, and the center of the circle is known as what? H comma k is one thing I want you to know. So right here, what is our h comma k? The h is the x as the x coordinate, and k is the y coordinate. So from what we've seen now, let's stress for h is the y, right? So y is at +1, so it should be giving us 1 comma, and then x is what? -1. Okay, sorry, h is -1, sorry for that. h is the x, right? Okay, so h is the x, which is -1, so h is -1, and then k is what? Just +1. Okay, so we've gotten the center, and the centers are telling us about this, so h and what? K. Okay, so the radius, we've checked the radius and we said it's just 3 units. So this is 1 2, okay, 3 and 4. Let me check from here again. This is from here to here is 1, then here is 2, here is 3. Sorry, I'm making mistake. Let me, from here to here is 1 2 and 3. Okay, let's go up. 1 2 and 3. Okay, that's 3. Okay, so what do we know? We know that let's now plug these values into the general formula. So we'll have that x minus the h, which is the center of the circle for the x coordinate, is what? -1. X bracket -1, please don't forget that, all squared, plus y bracket, what is k? K is just 1, so k -1 all squared equal to our radius is 3 squared. 3 squared, just do it now. So minus minus is plus, right? So we'll have that x plus 1 all squared, plus then we'll have y minus 1 all squared, right? Okay, so y minus 1 all squared equal to 9, right? 3 squared is just 9. Okay, so it can be either in this form, 3 squared, or just 9, and that is the answer of this particular question. So let's continue. We have another question. The question says s squared and y squared. Let me just write it down here. Okay, s squared plus y squared plus 8x minus 20y equal to 28. It says, what is the diameter of the circle given by the equation? What do we know about diameter? We know that diameter is the radius multiplied by 2. And I want you to observe something else. This equation is not in the standard form, it is actually in the general form. So first of all, we'll have to convert this equation to a standard form. And how do we do that? By completing the square. So just follow me closely and watch how I'm going to do that. So we'll complete the square, we can be able to figure that. But you know one thing about the equation of a circle? In the standard form, it gives us something of this nature: x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equal to r squared. So this formula right here cannot actually give us the diameter of a circle. So what can this formula actually give us? It can only give us what? The radius of a circle. But we know something about circles. We know that, no, these things are just reference, just need to know them. We know that what? That for us to get the diameter, 2 of the radius, so just multiply the radius by 2, will actually arrive at diameter, and that's making sense. So all we just need to do is know the radius, then multiply by 2, we find that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually solve for this. Okay, so let's start combining the x. So the x squared plus 8x, then plus y squared, and then minus 20y equal to 28. So what does completing the square requires us to do? So it requires us to actually divide this term by 2 and square it. So if we have positive 8 plus 8x divided by 2 is giving us plus 4, right? So square it, that is square the x term, square it is giving us 16. So we have that, and we're going to add it to both sides. So x squared plus 8x plus 16, and then we're going to add it to both sides. So let's expect 28 plus 16. So you do same thing also for the y term. So the y term here is minus 20, so divided by 2 is giving us minus 10, right? Now squared minus 10 all squared is giving us what? 100. So let's add it to both sides too. So this becomes plus y squared minus 20y, and then plus 100. Okay, and then we also add 100 right here. So let's factor out this using the classic quadratic. So if we factor out this using the classic quadratic, we're going to be having x plus 4 all squared. Hope this is making sense to you. And then let's factor out this using the classic quadratic. We should be having y minus, okay, let me just say, let's try minus 10 and check if it's going to make sense to us. Minus 10 all squared. So y squared, this is minus 20y, and then so it's making sense. Okay, so if we factor out, we're going to be having plus y minus 10 all squared equal to, let's add all these numbers here together. So 28 plus 16, what is that going to give us? 8 plus 6 is 14, right? 4 you carry 1 plus 2 is 3, and then this is 4. 44 plus 100 is giving us 144. Okay, so let me just clear this part and then we'll continue. So I'm getting 144 for the right hand of this equation. Okay, I know that is the radius. Okay, so we have 144. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, let me just write this in the way it should be using the standard. So this is not in the standard form. Let me just finish it up. X plus 4 all squared plus y minus 10 all squared equal to 12 all squared. 12 all squared is same thing as 144. Okay, so we've been able to discover that arrow is actually 12, right? So, and that is the radius. So what we have solved for is that radius is what? The 12 squared, and then this part of the equations are not really our concern, so we're not going to dwell on that. Okay, so let's continue. Since radius is equal to 12, right? 12, what are we looking for? Looking for diameter, and diameter is equal to 2r. So let's plug in radius into this formula. So bracket radius is what? We said this is 12. We got our radius to be 12, so let's plug in that radius into this formula and actually solve. Okay, so that becomes 12 here, and then d becomes 2 times 12 is 24, and this 24 becomes our final answer in this particular question. I hope this really made sense to you. Okay, so all you have to do is you have to write any equation that is not in the standard form to be in the standard form, and what you have to do is same thing applies for the x and y terms. Unlike in the completing the square quadratic, you just focus on one x term, but here you have to complete the square for the x term and also for the y terms. Once you have been able to do that, then you solve your question. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so which are the following points in the xy plane represent the center of the circle defined by the equation? Okay, now this equation is also in a general form. So one thing about any equation in general form is that you have to write it in the standard form. So x squared plus y squared, let me just write the question again, minus 4x minus 8y minus 16 equal to 0. So let's have x squared minus 4x plus y squared minus okay, y squared minus 8y equal to, okay, I'm moving this 16 over. 16 is just a constant there in this equation, so I'm gonna move it over. So I hope I picked every time in this question. So let me just, this is my x, this is my y here, this is my 4, this is my 8, and this is my 16. Wow, I actually picked every bit of information we need here. So from here, let's continue. Divide the x term by 2 and square it. Minus 4 divided by 2 is going to give us negative 2. Square it is going to give us positive 4. So have x squared minus 4x plus 4. So plus same thing that happens to the y term here. So minus 8 divided by 2 is what? Minus 4. Square it, that gives us what? Plus 16. Okay, so one thing to do is that you need to add these numbers to both sides of the equation. These numbers you got, you have to add them to both sides of the equation. So in doing that, we're going to be having that 16 plus 4 and then also plus 16. So from here, let's combine these numbers. So have that x minus 2 all squared and then plus y minus 4 all squared. So let's check s, this raised power 2, let's use classic quadratic, will still give us x raised power 2. And then, okay, just a quick revision. Let me do a quick revision before I continue. You know one thing about the classic quadratic, let me just do that. If we have a minus b all squared or a plus b, anyone, so what the rule here says, square the first term or raise the first term to the power. So let's do that. That will be giving us what? A squared. Now the second rule now says use this power to multiply through all the terms you are seeing here. So let's have that 2 multiplied by a is 2a times negative b becomes negative 2ab. Then the last rule says square the last term. So the last term here is what? Negative what? Negative b. So negative b all squared. When you square a negative number, it gives you what? A positive. That becomes what? Plus b. Okay. So let's do it for another number. Let's say x plus 2. X plus 2 all squared. Let's square it. Becomes x squared. Square the first term. Use this to multiply through. Becomes plus 4x because 2 times x is 2x times 2 is 4. Then now square the last term. That becomes what? Plus 4 because 2 to the power 2, which is squared, becomes 4. So I hope that is going to make sense to you. So let's go back and continue what we are actually doing. Okay. So right here we are meant to factor out, and that was that we're trying to like let's say combine the numbers, and that's what I did here. So let's check. X squared is this, is going to give us that, and then 2 multiplied by x is 2x times 2 is giving us negative 4x. That's it. And negative 2 raised power 2 is 4, so makes sense. And then here is y raised power 2 is y squared. 2 times y, 2y times minus 4 is minus 8y. The minus 4 squared is giving us 16, so that's actually correct. Okay, so let's continue. Then here 16 plus 4 is 20, right? Plus 16 is 36. So we know that here is giving us what? 36. Okay, so if here gives us 36, what's the next step? So I think I want to continue from here. So we'll be having that x minus 2 all all squared plus y minus 4 all squared equal to 6 squared. But what's the question asking us? Say which of the following points in the xy plane represent the center of the circle defined? So remember the standard form of the equation of a circle, which says that x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equal to r squared. So the circle center is what, h comma k. So from these points is our consign, the h comma k. Understand? So right here the h comma k becomes what? It becomes this and this. But remember, these are in the factored forms. These are in the factored forms. So if we should have them normally, they should be giving us that. Okay, it should be giving us just 2 and comma 4. 2 comma 4, not 2 comma k. So 2 comma 4, that should be the equation of center of a circle. So we know that this 2 is the h and this is the k. So that becomes the answer to this question. Okay, now how would you actually figure out this? Okay, if now remember the formula says that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to r squared. If a center has the coordinates of, let's say, -3 and -4, when you put them into this formula, they become positive. Let me show you why. So x minus, what is this, is h and comma k, right? So our h becomes what? -3 squared plus, now y becomes minus and minus what, 4 all squared equal to the r squared. So from here we're having that x minus minus is plus 3 all squared plus y minus minus is plus 4 all squared. I hope this is making sense to you. So because of that, whenever we have these numbers right here, when they are written normally, you change their sign, just simply change their sign. So that's why their signs here are positive signs instead of negative sign. So that might actually trick you. So the option here is meant to be C, but don't get tricked by B. Okay, you have another question. Say the equation of a circle in the xy plane shown above. What is the positive difference between the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle? Okay, what I will tell you is that go ahead and try this question. This question is in general form, so I want you to go ahead, try writing it in the standard form. Okay, so we have x squared plus 6x plus y squared minus xy equal to 171. Okay, so let's combine our, okay, let's divide the x terms and then square them. So from here, 6 divided by 2 is 3 squared is 9. So we're going to be having that x squared plus 6x plus 9, and then plus y squared. Then 2 divided by -8 is -4 squared, that's giving you -16. So minus 8y, and then plus 16. So let's add all these numbers here. So 171 plus 9 and then plus 16. So I think I have a calculator. Let's just add it up and save ourselves a whole lot of time. Okay, so 171 plus 9 plus 16, 196, so 196, and then from here let's factor out this number. I'll have that okay, let's combine this x minus 3 all squared. That's going to give us that, because x squared and 2 times s times this 3 is negative. Okay, no, we need positive. So x squared and 2 times x times 3 is plus 6x, then 3 squared is still 9. So that's correct, not negative. We need positive right there. Okay, for here I'll have that y minus 4 all squared. So y squared 2 times y times this is -8. Okay, that makes sense. And then -4 squared is 16. Okay, that is making sense. Oh, so what are they actually asking for? They say what is the positive difference between the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle. So remember that we've been writing this formula ever since this class started. That's 6x minus h all squared plus y minus k all squared equal to r squared. Okay, so another thing you need to take note of is that the center is h comma k. So this center is h comma k, and in the center this is the x coordinate, this is the y coordinate. So you can also actually find this in the formula right here. So this is the x and y. Okay, so let's still continue. So from here they are asking for the positive. So this is not, the radius here is not really our concern, so you don't really need to work on the radius. It's not your challenge, it's not your problem. So let's focus on what the question is actually demanding from us. It says the difference, what is the positive difference between the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle. So what would the center of the circle become? It will become h comma k, right? And then that will give us what is h? H is x. Because x is positive here, x becomes what? Negative 3. And then next one is k. Because k is negative here, becomes what? Positive 4. Okay, so they're asking for the positive difference between the x and y coordinates of the center of the circle. The positive difference. So the positive difference here looks more like 1, because we'll be having okay, let's say the positive difference can be in two forms. It can either be minus 3 minus 4. Please don't forget that difference, you're looking for difference, not just any kind of number. So before you go and say minus 3 and plus 4, okay, minus 3 minus 4, or can also have, or it can be in this form, 4 minus minus 3. Okay, so 4 minus minus 3, because remember the first minus is coming from the 3, so 3 is already a negative number, and then mathematically difference implies what? Minus. Same thing happens here. So this is the difference, and then but here 3 is having a negative already on itself. So let's now go ahead and simplify that. 4 minus minus 3 is giving us 4 plus 3, and that will be giving us 7. But from here will be giving us what? Negative 7. So the positive difference that is only making sense right here to me is this, and not this. This is a negative difference. Okay, so because of that, our answer here becomes 7. Okay, we'll have another question. Say a circle is defined by the equation which are the following point is located on the circumference of the circle. This question is very much simple, but can trick you if you're not careful. Okay, now this kind of question you have to plug in values or do back solving. So if you plug in values, you just have to make sure that everything, what will you plug into this equation that will equal everything to 100. So let me put down the equation right here before we start solving. So we know that this is the standard form, right? Standard form says x minus h squared plus y minus k all squared equal to r squared. So and this equation now is saying x minus 4 all squared plus y plus 2 all squared equal to 100. We can also be 10 squared. So let's pick in values here for x and y. You know, this is the x and y values for various distances, so x and y. So let's plug in values and check the one that can give us 100. So if we use minus 3 and 5, so it becomes that minus 3 minus 4 all squared plus 5 plus 2 all squared. Let's check if it can give us 100. Minus 3 minus 4 is minus 7 all squared plus 5 plus 2 is 7 all squared. Let's check. 7 all squared is giving us and 7 all squared is giving us 49. 49 plus 49. Oh, that doesn't work. So this answer is not going to work. Let's try another one. Okay, so let's have 0, 9. Then it becomes, so I'm using from this, so it becomes that 0 minus 4 all squared plus 9 plus 2 all squared. So 0 minus 4 is minus 4 squared. Minus 4 squared is what? 16 plus 9 plus 2 is 11 all squared. Wow, that's going to be very much wrong, because 11 squared is giving us what, 121. So that is way much above 100. This approach doesn't work. So let's try 4 and the negative 2. Sorry, it's taking time, but just have to hang on. So using this formula again, 4 minus 4 all squared plus, what is our y, minus 2 plus 2 minus 2, okay, minus 2 plus 2 all squared is equal to 100. Can that work? Can that work? Because 4 minus 4 squared is 0, minus 2 plus 2 is 0, so that's not still working. Wow. Let's try the last one. The last one is 4 minus 4. Let's check it. 4 minus 4 all squared plus 8 minus 2 all squared equal to 100. So okay, let's check it. Sorry, we've not really confirmed this, so can't really say it's equal to 100 yet. Okay, so let's continue. 4 minus 4 is 0, so 0 squared plus 8 minus 2 is 6, so 6 squared is 36. Okay, let me just review something. Okay, still working with this. We have that okay, let me try the last point again. I think I just keep something. The last point becomes 4. So 4 minus 4, right, all squared plus, the next one is what, 8 plus 2 all squared. So 4 minus 4 is 0 squared plus 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, so 10 squared equal to, so 0 squared is just 0. 0 plus 10 squared is what, 100. So 0 plus 100 is giving us 100, and that makes the second option accurate. So that makes sense. Okay. Okay, sorry for that. And okay, so just hang on a little bit. Okay, and that's it. So thank you so much for being a part of this class. Really appreciate it. You can reach out to me. I got you covered for your SAT, math, and all that. So wow, just hang on. Oh wow, thank you so much for being a part of this class. I really do appreciate. So I got you covered for your math and sciences and your exam prep, SAT jam work and all that. So just reach out to me and have a good time. I wish you the best of luck as you prepare for your various exams.